Okay, so new game. Hi guys, it's Jacob. This is my proof of concept test video, the second, and we are going to be doing a challenge run in Crusader Kings 3. And by a challenge run, I basically mean we're starting as a vassal and we're trying to recreate historical events that led to the rise of the Holy Roman Empire or the Roman Empire in the West, depending on how you want to refer to it. And for those of you who are sitting there thinking there was no Roman Empire in the West, we're going to be talking about why you're absolutely wrong, and why there was, for a good hundred or so years, there was absolutely a legitimate Roman state in the West. It's just that when you think of Roman, when I think of Roman, we're talking about two completely different things. And you know what? We're going to talk about that for a second. Actually, we're going to talk about all these things that are going to make you not want to listen to me. But let's take a look at the Byzantine Empire, for example. They're Greeks, right? Orthodox Greeks. They're not Romans. They call themselves Romaioi. They call themselves Romans. They are descended, I suppose, in a sense, ideologically, from the United Roman Empire. We'll start with Constantine, I suppose. They're descended from the United Roman Empire of Constantine, who founded Constantinople, moved the capital to the east, and they are an enduring political state that should absolutely be recognized as the Roman Empire, and no one can really question this. But there are a lot of reasons why other people would have a legitimate claim to calling themselves the Roman Empire. And a good example, they chose the Colosseum instead of like the Vatican. That's kind of weird considering this is a medieval setting and no one really gave a fuck about the Colosseum during this point in time. But that's whatever. There are other states here that are, say the ones that are in Rome. They're part of the Roman Church. They were an organ of the Roman state. They functionally acted as Roman governors during the slow Eastern retreat from Italy. That there's a whole lot going on here that could absolutely be respected and legitimized as the papal state, to some extent, has claim to being a Roman state in the West. If not the Roman Empire, then certainly a Roman successor state with extremely strong ties back to the previous state through religion, through location, and through culture and tradition and language. All of these guys, but I'm not arguing, in fact, that the papacy is a Roman state in the West. Rather, I am arguing that the Holy Roman Empire under Otto Leodolfinger the First, not this guy, this is his grandfather, which took control of the Kingdom of East Francia, the Kingdom of Italy, the Kingdom of Lotharingia, the Kingdom of Burgundy, and much of Italy, was in fact a legitimate Roman successor state. And I know that a lot of people don't watch Let's Plays to get a historical lecture from a guy who's probably not qualified to lecture on it. But I get the feeling that people who watch Crusader Kings videos do, in fact, kind of sign up for historical lectures, because we're the kind of people who stare at maps for fun, and you're the kind of person, and I'm the kind of person, who stares at people staring at maps for fun. So you probably are already forming opinions. But we're going to do a challenge run here. We're going to try to recreate the true Roman Empire in the West under Otto Leodolfinger I, who, again, this is not him. This guy in 867, not the Otto that we're talking about. This is Otto the Great, but the Otto the Lesser the Great, who was the grandfather of Otto I, who took over all of this and made the Pope his bitch and claimed the empire. His son is actually Heinrich I, who... So basically what happened was, we've got Ludwig the German here. So Ludwig lives for a little longer than his old age in a Crusader Kings game would imply. He lives long enough for Louis the Child, or Ludwig the Child, depending on how German you want to be it, for Ludwig the Child to take the throne. And then Ludwig the Child ruled for a little while, and then he died. And then a guy named Conrad was sort of elected. Now, we use the word elected, and that's kind of a big problem. Actually, let me just start the game. We're doing this in Ironman because we are men who play the game manly-like. So, as you can see, I have attempted this run a lot. It's very difficult. But anyway, as I was saying. So this is Otto. Otto the grandfather, we're going to call him. So Otto the grandfather had the son Heinrich. Now, I was talking about Conrad. Let me back up for a second. So, Ludwig the German. He was king. He was a Carling. We don't like Carlings. They're annoying. I have strong opinions about Charlemagne. He died. Ludwig the Child, or Louis the Child, took the throne and died. And then a guy named Conrad was elected to be king of East Francia. Now, or Francia, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Now, we say the word elected, and that's not actually what happened. Like, it was an election of sorts, but thinking of it as an election and using the word election makes us think different things. Because that's not what it meant at this point in time. Because Conrad was related to the Carolingians, so there was a blood connection between Conrad and the previous dynasty. So already, it's starting to look more like a succession than an election. And because at this point in time, the divine right to rule was very real in the West. And blood continuity of monarchs was also very real. So when Conrad took the throne, it was more the great dukes of Bavaria, West Francia, Angria, Swabia, and Franconia, which, yeah, there's Franconia. I called it West Francia, didn't I? Franconia, all kind of agreeing that Conrad had the best claim to the throne, as he was also a local noble. Actually, hold up. What year is this? This is 890. Okay, so yeah, the last king of the United Holy Roman Empire, I think, was in 860, who was Arnulf of Bavaria. But that's, again, neither here nor there. At this point in time. And really, he didn't hold West Francia, he held this. But, right? Or, I guess we haven't gotten to Arnulf yet, because these are all Charlemagne's sons? Because, so, his dad was, one second, so his dad was King Louis of East Francia, and his dad was Karl. So we have Karl, then we have Louis the fuck-up, and then we have his sons. And when he split the kingdom, then, so if these are his sons, then I've gotten my history a little bit backwards. Because it's been a while since I wrote my thesis on East Francia and the history of everything that takes place. So we've got 867. Was it really Ludwig the German, or was it Ludwig, or was it this Ludwig? Not this Ludwig. Was it this Ludwig who then ruled and died, and his son, Louis the Child, took the throne, at which much more lines up with the actual history of Otto being very old and having died, and his son Heinrich being a grown man who was strong in his own right. That makes a lot more sense. So, backing up, because my history isn't as straight as I'd like it to be. It's been 2 years since I really studied this period. But basically, there was a succession, right? The last Carling died, Conrad takes the throne, or rather, all of the nobles agree, sort of kind of, that Conrad is the strongest noble around, who also has a desire for the throne, and is related to the Carolingians, so he becomes the king of East Francia. And when he takes the throne, Heinrich, eventually, at some point during his reign, rises in revolt in Angria. And Heinrich was strong enough that Conrad couldn't really get rid of him. Like, he couldn't put down the revolt. Heinrich was essentially, or Henry, whatever, was essentially completely independent for most of Conrad's reign. And then on Conrad's deathbed, he made a deal with Heinrich, which is basically, if you don't tear the realm apart upon my death, I will name you my successor. There's probably some historical inaccuracies in there. But anyway, that's how Heinrich gets the throne. Because he was the most powerful noble in the realm, who also had the desire for the throne, and he made a deal with Conrad for the throne in return for not massive civil war, wherein he would just take the throne anyway. It was kind of just recognizing the status quo. Basically, Conrad was like, you're gonna be king when I die, so we might as well make this official. So Heinrich takes the throne, and he spends most of his reign fighting the Magyars, who are right here, or I guess the Mogirs, who have moved into the Bulgarian basin and kind of taken over all of this. And the Magyars basically spend most of their time, or the Avars, as some historical texts refer to them, spend a lot of their time just kind of burning Bavaria to the ground. Like, this area just gets wrecked. And Heinrich spends most of his time fighting them. And when he wasn't fighting them, he got a 9-year truce by capturing a Magyar prince and ransoming him away for the Magyars to fuck off for a while. And during that time of peace, he founded a whole bunch of cities all throughout East Francia, and he trained up an army, and so the next time the Magyars came calling, he trounced them and threw them out, and they didn't bother the Germans again. And then he died, and his son, Otto I, takes the throne. Because you only start counting once people are kings, except when they're not, but for this case, you only start counting once people become kings. I should start playing the game. Oh, I am playing the game. So, you only start counting once people become kings. So, I've just been lecturing this entire time. So, we're gonna build Otto, the grandfather here, to be a chivalric knight. Because, honestly, Gallant is really, really, like, stupid good. 1 second. Sorry, gang. We're just gonna get rid of that. I had forgotten that that was up and open and making noises. Okay, whoops. So there's lesson reinforced. Don't leave the Facebook thing open. So Gallant is kind of stupid good, and let me tell you why. Especially if you're a very small Duke man who has no army. Gallant makes your commander less likely to die, and then if we go down the military side of Gallant, you get chivalric dominance, which makes your knights 75% gooder, which is a massive force multiplier that takes your troops up from professional to elite, or not from professional, from good to professional to elite, just by buffing, or good to elite, good to professional, but with this knight effectiveness buff. And then you get Never Back Down, which is eh. And then you get Kingsguard, which is dumb, because it makes your army elite no matter what. Because those 4 extra knights, which are 75% stronger, under Otto here, who we're going to be building to be a good field leader, is just very strong militarily. There are some other trees that we might want to look at. If we can make an early play for the kingdom, we want to take meritocracy. But the problem is, Otto here starts out as just and humble and content, so it makes it extremely difficult for us to actually make a play for the throne without taking a ton of stress, because the game kind of forces you to roleplay, which is really nice. So the way Otto's character spawns, he wants to be a soldier, and he doesn't want to take the throne. So that's what's going on right now. And we're going to marry the best woman in the game at the start. Like I said, I've done this, right? Eudokia here. The best. Quick, genius. Will marry me. Marry a woman that'll marry you. And we're going to set up a couple of alliances here. By marrying my sister to this guy, which will set up a nice alliance with Bavaria. And we're going to use all of our wedding money. So another thing that I know, because I've been playing this game, and I've been running this start a lot, is that bowmen are kind of stupid good. We're going to get onagers later, but we're going to start with bowmen. Because 2 units of bowmen and 1 unit of onagers is really great, because everyone else is running light infantry, and bowmen, in case you didn't see, hard counter skirmishers. Skirmishers are also known as light infantry. I don't know why they don't just call the light infantry retinues the skirmishers retinues, but they call it light infantry instead. So running mass archers in the early game is strong militarily. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to spend Otto's entire life working on getting not shit succession. So let me show you our succession laws at the moment. So, and our crown authority. So we want to get crown authority limited, which lets us revoke titles. So another thing that has got to get patched. Ooh. What is that? What does that give me? I think it gives me +3 prowess. We're gonna roll for the martial experience, actually. Yes, that's what I like to see. Because we just kind of want to sprint through the trade tree as fast as possible. Because after we get this, once we finish Gallant, we're gonna probably move into learning. Because this early game is gonna be really boring. Because we are essentially going to try to be the best vassal that we can be, and keep the Carlings on the throne, so that once we raise a little utter bastard of a sneaky son, he's gonna claim the throne, and then we're gonna go get on with the empire building. So that means we need to keep this kingdom united. We need to keep Lotharingia out of our precious German clay, because if the Lotharingians or if the Italians take over, this is what's gonna happen. I will lose every single one of my titles, all of my duchies, and more importantly, I will lose my domain. It'll all get re-granted back to me, but the last time I did this, I got this, Arnsberg, useless, and nothing else. I lost all 4 of my domain provinces, got all my duchy titles back, but lost and got 1 barony. And that was it. Which was kind of a problem. So actually, let's just kick up the speed a little bit. So we're not gonna fuck around with that. So we need to support the throne as much as we can, because it is in our own self-interest, and also because we are a just, content, good little vassal who loves the king very much, because he's our best bro. Look at that. Look at that. I'm best friends with King Ludwig, so we can't revolt against him because we love him. Let's check our council, actually. I've noticed that traditionally the bishops you get when you have free investiture, or papal investiture, are just absolute trash. Like, this is the best one I've seen, having an actual good one. So, oh, my steward. Oh, they're so bad. Let's see. So King Ludwig's under attack. God, you suck. I don't care. So the thing is, even though we're friends with Ludwig here, we can't... Oh, we can. We can totally back him up. And I'm the Marshal! Yes! So the Marshal gives me 15% more martial lifestyle experience, which means I'm just gonna frickin' zoom through these. But anyway, we're going to back up our best friend, the king, and we're going to help him. We're gonna help him out. I am the realm's marshal. I am the Reichsmarschall, and my men will march south and aid the king. That's what we're doing. Because basically, I mean, let's role play. You know, let's not pretend that we're a Crusader Kings player with several thousand hours in Crusader Kings 2 and just by default a conniving bastard. Let's pretend that we actually love Ludwig, because we do love Ludwig. He's great, and we need to keep him on the throne. Oh, wow. Well, that didn't go well for him. War against King Ludwig. The war against has... Yes! What happened? What happened? So the king, what happened? What happened there? Somebody died? Did he die? Doesn't look like he died. Yeah, because I'm still allied with him. I guess he just got captured? What happened there? I'm not sure what happened there. I think I have to walk my men all the way back home to disband them. Oh. Rip Wigbert. We could use a doctor. So let's see. I don't think he's gonna need help against these assholes. How many men do you have, Ludwig? 3,000 men. Oh, well, actually. That number is a lie. Because, for example, for independent rulers, if they have allies... Oh, it doesn't count their allies anymore. That must have gotten patched. Fantastic. So actually, we are... The world is full of dangers. So let's see, who are you? 10 versus 6. And also, you're depressed. So, yeah, we're gonna go with... We're gonna go with... Wow, that trash. And also, while we're here, we want to pick up some more bowmen. Because we're not going to be doing any sieging. We're just going to be doing our best to keep our best buddy, the king, from not being dead. Can I offer to join your war? Excellent. So, actually, I really shouldn't have turned my men around at all. So we're going to go and hang out with the king some more. We just need to keep this realm as solvent as physically possible. Sadly, also, another thing about Crusader Kings 3 that I've noticed is that buildings are randomly generated. So sometimes you can get good stuff in your starts, and sometimes you can just have a completely barren domain, which really sucks. But anyway, and actually, oh wow. My brother-in-law is a badass, but I should lead my men. I am the Rights Marshal. I am the best. We march to Italy. And we remind these Italian pig dogs that we are the true heirs to the Reich and to Charlemagne and by extension Rome. Also, what the fuck happened over here? Whoa. Okay, Lotharingia's shit. Actually, are you at war? So he just revolted. Okay, so Lotharingia just crumbled. Oh, that's great, actually, because we might, you. Glad to see that you're friendly. Is it because I have no idea why you like me. Oh wait. He doesn't like me. Yeah, there we go. That makes more sense. So we're gonna make a play for Cleves here, because more land is good land. Oh no, not Cleves. Zupton. Yes, please. Because, you know, we are content, but also we are the player, and I know for a fact that I need to get as much land as I can, because if I have a bunch of sons, succession's gonna suck. So, we gotta keep that shit in mind. Yes, and it wants to remind me a whole lot that I can declare holy wars whenever I want. And I can declare holy wars, except, wow, no. Wow, no, there's no religion map. Oh, yeah, there is. There's a religion map. Look at that. I want nothing to do with that, so we're going to be a good leader. And again, I'm not like I'm no Arumba, right? I'm not a pro Crusader Kings player. I am simply a person who has spent 3,000 hours playing Crusader Kings. Does this mean I'm good at the game? Maybe. Obviously, I haven't spent 3,000 hours playing Crusader Kings 3, because it's only been out for like a week. Hell yeah. So, again, Eudokia is the best, because she is all the inheritable traits that you want. Right there. I know what genius does. I mean, obviously you want a strong genius who is also hot. But, like, we can't get our inbreeding on that much early game. Actually, you know, while I'm here, I've never been really down with the whole inbreeding for memes thing that, like, a lot of Crusader Kings players do. Like, that's never been my thing. Like, I think, personally, it's a bad joke and it's kind of squicky. It's just weird and I don't like it. So, we're not going to be doing a lot of inbreeding if we can help it. We will take good traits where we can find them, but we're not going to do, like, stupid stuff. We're not rolling for inbred. We're not going for the inbred achievement. In fact, I don't have the inbred achievement in the old game either, because, again, I don't like it, and I think it's weird, and, like, haha, Habsburgs, haha, I get it. Like, I understand. Did you see that picture of the descendant of Napoleon who has the exact same fucking chin in England? I thought that was hilarious. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I don't like the inbreeding jokes, and I don't like the inbreeding. So we're not going to do that. Even if we end up putting our rulers on every... Ooh. You know, this is the first time I've actually seen the Byzantines, like, shatter. I haven't seen them go through a major civil war. In fact, the first game that I played, they reformed the Roman Empire. They took over all of this. It was kind of nuts. So I'm glad to see that the Byzantines are still doing their thing. In fact, Crusader Kings is what got me into being a historian and getting my degree in history and studying this sort of thing. Okay, my brother's a dick. Are you? I don't suppose you have. Oh, well, I can make you my spy master. So we can swap them around. Yes. And then what are you good at? Everything. Sorry, Count Rimbert, but Bruno really wants a seat on their council. So we're just gonna put him in a spot. I wish that in the old game you could give them a seat on your council and then just... Okay, I'll take that. What was I saying? In the old game, you could put them on the council and then just not give them a job. And just, let them remain unemployed the entire time. Oh, right. I have to siege castles. Whoopsies. My men have just been standing there for no reason. You could just kind of stand there and just... You could take the hit, essentially, and just have them be as harmless as possible. Can't do that in this game. If you have a shit counselor, they're going to do a shit job, and you can't just let them do nothing the whole time. So, he has to do his job. So I don't really care about my relations with other external people at this point. So we're just not going to have him do that. Wow, that was really embarrassing. I wonder how long you guys were just looking at me going, I wonder when he's going to notice that he's not actually sieging anything. And the answer was, it was going to a while. It was going to take a while. Usually I play this game in absolute silence, right? And I'm hyper-focused. So recording this is a whole different beast to what I'm used to. Because I'm focusing both on talking to you and on the game. I started the story at the beginning of this, didn't I? I was explaining Otto the First's rise to power. Oh, sweet. Actually, that's... it's like a century. It's like 10 years worth of money. That's good. And we're going to spend it. Because we have no self-control, and we need catapults. Really, you may be asking me, hey, Jacob, why aren't you spending money upgrading your domain? And the answer is, I'm not even sure that I'm going to keep my domain, because it really depends on if we can keep Ludwig here on the throne, which is going to be a challenge. Like, I mean, he's going to have 1,000 more, which is nice. He's going to have a player backing him up. But... keeping him on the throne is going to be a bit of a challenge. I mean, we somehow beat Bavaria. I still don't know what happened. What's this? After my army sets up camp, I hear a commotion coming from my knight's lodging. Investigating the disturbance, I found Count Bruno and my brother and my best knight. So this guy is, he's got like a 32 or something for leading armies, I believe. So, my words pull... So, either definitely fuck them up, oh, come on. I have to do something, huh? Sorry, bro, but I'm not having it. I don't know what I'm not quite sure what I'm not having, but, like, there's gotta be punishment for whatever stupid shit you guys are doing. Oh, that's right. Whoops. Can't do it. You guys should have told me that I was plotting for a claim on Zupton, and that I shouldn't have spent my money on catapults. Why didn't you tell me? This is your fault. I wonder, does sieging a port, like, make it more difficult if you don't have anyone on boats? Is your fort level buffed? No. Okay. 'Cause I'm trying to figure out what siege mechanics from EU4 made it over here. And it looks like, thankfully, I don't have to split my army and blockade stuff. That's going to be an expansion. Guarantee you. They're absolutely going to go, oh, honestly, port provinces right now are kind of really super lame, because from what I've seen, there is nothing special about being on the sea. There are no shipyards, there are no dockyards, there are no money making from the ocean, which you really kind of need, and was a key part of the old game. You might notice that I'm a little bit of a neckbeard. Actually, do we want to spend the piety for the money? We do. We do want the money. I know the piety is extremely important. Here comes the tax refund. That's what I'm talking about. And then we're going to hold on to that money until we get this claim. But yeah, so our early game is going to be very boring because we're going to roleplay the best frickin' vassal in the world. How many of you have had an AI vassal ever just go like, I should keep the king on the throne and actually help you? None of you. That's who. Never. That never happens. The AI never helps you. I mean, maybe I've never actually played as an independent ruler in this particular, in CK3 yet, because I've been doing this exact same vassal run over and over and over and over again. But I get the feeling that the AI is still just a massive dick. What's this? Whoops. Okay, we're just gonna help him with his siege, actually, because that should end this war. And of course, Crusader Kings videos are just naturally very long, because... Oh, they finished their siege. That's a pain. Oh, but they've only got 500 men. What's this? Bruno. Can I... Ooh, actually, that gives me a hook, doesn't it? Can't I blackmail him? I like the hook mechanic. I really do. I have his secret exposed. How do I... Is it an intrigue again? Hooks and secrets. Oh, I guess I don't know any secrets. Lame. Well, we're gonna go kill these guys. And liberate the crown and the holdings thereof. And we're also going to look to expanding ourselves. Do you have any... Has brought forward that Hostile was fathered by someone... Oh, really? You mean... I wonder who. Perhaps my... Here we go. My acquaintance Hostile has copulated with Count Lothar. Oh, but Lothar's a loyal vassal. But I lose a devotion level. Oh, I'm arresting Hosla, not Lothar. Screw her. She has no power here. I don't care what happens to her. And that's the patriarchy, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm also a good Christian boy, who does not like the women's having the extramarital sex. That's bad. Bad news. Bad news bears. They can't do that. It's illegal. God said so. Got him. That'll give us something. Can I catch you? No. I guess it'll tell me if I can catch them. So we'll work on liberating stuff. This war is gone on for far longer than it should. We're gonna sneak up on them. Do a little sneaky sneak. They don't know. They don't know I'm coming. Oh, got you. Damn. Okay, the AI has gotten a little bit smarter about running away. And by a little bit, I mean, that trick used to always work. So, that's kind of embarrassing. Sweet. Do you have any allies? Who are you allied with? Count of Gelders. Who has... Yeah. So after this little war, we're gonna wage a war of our own. And carpe some diem. Carpe some clay. You know, seize that land. Carpe natem. I'm not gonna translate that one. But yeah. Right! Otto the First. Which is what I was talking about way back in the end, my opinions on Charlemagne. Wow, I completely forgot about that one. So Otto the First takes the throne from his father Heinrich, and he basically throughout the entirety of his reign, his vassals are pretty much in open or semi-open revolt. He spends a lot of his time. What's this? Do I get any money? Okay, well, we're going to call it here, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll pick up the story of Otto next time.